Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. This is Project Life week 30, and today I'm going to work with a few digital cards that I've got from Citrus Twist. I think these are from May and July. I will find out for sure and link down below for you. The reason I used some digital cards is because I didn't end up with any, like not a single one, a horizontal photo this week. So I kind of had to change up my layout a bit. So I knew I needed a bunch of 3x4 cards, and I wanted to use some of my older sort of stickers from Citrus Twist. I've also got a packet of die cuts there, and so I figured I would use the cards because they will match perfectly to there. So you can see I did print out some 4x6s because I was thinking that I would just attach the 3x4 photos on top. But it didn't really work out that way. I wanted to use some of these lighter kind of pastel-y 3x4 cards. My photos are, I mean, they're still winter photos, guys. So the lighting's not great. The photos are a little bit kind of busy, a little bit blue toned. So I just kind of wanted to balance that out with some lighter, brighter kind of journal cards. So that's what I've done. I've picked out 3x4s and I will turn them into 4x6s later on. I did use one 4x6 card for my title cards though. So that's the only one that I've got on the page. And then, like I said, I had this pack of die cuts, and I'm going to go through these. As always, there's a million in here. So I'm just starting off by kind of picking out the ones that I might use versus the ones that I definitely won't use. And there's a few in here that I definitely won't use. There's a whole lot of lime green in here, not my favorite. And so I'm sort of putting that back. I had kind of forgot that this die cut pack had the perfect die cut for my photos. The entire midsection of my spread here is about a new taco truck we found. And I do remember when I first got this die cut pack that it had that Inhale Tacos die cut in there. And I knew it would be perfect for telling this story, but I had forgotten. So I got very lucky that this just happened to be the packet that I pulled out to use today, and it had that one in it. So I know I'm 100% going to use that die cut, and it sort of sets the theme, I guess, for the rest of my embellishment of this page. Because what I've decided to do is just kind of try to add a little bit more of that pink. So I've got the one pink die cut, I've got one pink journal card, so I kind of want to add a little bit more pink in here just to tie it together. So to start with, I went and did my journaling, two journaling cards here, and I did run those through my typewriter and I typed with pink ink. So there's me adding a little bit more pink in there. So one of the journal cards was more about that kind of taco story, since the entire midsection is about that. And the other card is more my general kind of weekly recap, I guess. One of the stickers that I did pull out, or the sticker sheets, was because I wanted to use that particular journal card with the floral on it. And I think that's from July, when I got that sticker sheet and I knew that the sticker matched that journal card perfectly. It had always been my intention to add the sticker on top of that journal card just to give it that kind of 3D look. And I've only just got around to doing it now, and I'm glad I did it because I love how it looked. So that was an idea that had been stuck in my head for, well, many months now, and it's finally made it onto the page, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Now, as far as stamps go this week, I haven't really pulled out many stamp sets. I've grabbed out this Bailey Alpha, and I've also pulled out, I think it's the Madison, no, Felicity Alpha as well, just Alpha stamps, because I've got extra photos on here this week, so I don't normally have this many photos. I've got extra photos, extra journaling cards, and I don't want it to feel too busy, so I'm going to try to just limit what I'm using to these stickers and die cuts. And when I feel like I need a little bit of an extra kind of sentiment, like on this particular card, I'm going to do that with just those alpha stamps. I know that both of the sticker sheets that I've got, they're a little bit kind of summer, slash outdoor life themed, which is definitely not what I'm living at the moment in these photos. So I'm gonna use them kind of selectively, and so it's going to be helpful to have those alphas to just kind of change sentiments or add sentiments as I need them. So this one, for instance, says ready, let's go, which I'm sure is in reference to going somewhere, camping, going outdoors, adventuring, that sort of thing. For me, I'm using it as ready, let's go. I finally got my new windows installed, so I guess that's what I mean by changing those sentiments to kind of make them a little bit more related to my photos. My preference is always for kind of more generalized sentiments on die cuts and stickers. I struggle with those kind of themey ones, especially being down here in the southern hemisphere. We tend to always be at complete opposites from those themes. So it's always summer here when the winter themed embellishments come out, and it's always winter when the summer things do. Now, you can see here, this is how I'm kind of joining these cards to make 4x6s. I'm just flipping them over. I was careful when I was trimming out the cards and my photos to leave them at true 3x4s this time. The middle photos, or when I generally trim down the 3x4 cards, I trim them just smaller than 3 inches so that they slip into pockets a little bit easier. And sometimes when I'm not paying careful attention, I do that to ones where I'm going to need to join them as well, which means that the card ends up a little bit shorter than 4x6. But I was careful not to do that this time, so all I need to do is just flip them over, and I just added a little bit of washi tape onto the back to turn those into 4x6s. So a super simple solution. Don't need to change page protectors or anything, just because I happened to forget to turn my camera around this week. Now, I'm kind of keeping things as simple as I can, which I got to admit I sort of struggled with this week. I'm just adding a single die cut or a single sticker where I can, just to not add to too much in the way of kind of confusion or busyness on here. There were some stickers that were a little bit perfect. That I'm done sticker, perfect for the photo of Shane's last day of work. And there was a dog's life. I added that onto Lil's photo. That's the first time she's been in a store. She was very good. We were always a little bit worried because she goes a little bit crazy when she sees other dogs, but she proved me wrong and she was super good when we went in there. So it's those sorts of things. I'm just keeping it a little bit simpler and letting the photo tell the story. And this was another case of the perfect sticker, simply delish, me and my favorite waffle fries. Now I'm nearly finished up with kind of all of my photos and cards, but I was going to leave this card with just the sticker at the top that said life is good, but I sort of hit a little bit of I mean, it's not a problem, it's just an issue for me, and that I've used that Bailey alphabet to stamp on the bottom left-hand card, and then I haven't used it again. So things like that kind of really stick out like a sore thumb to me. To kind of get a little bit more consistency in there and to make it look a bit more purposeful, I have stamped an extra little sentiment under this photo here. It's a little bit squishy, but I like the repetition, and it kind of works, I also think, with that larger Let's Go sticker, because those are really the 3 larger fonts on this layout, and so it just works to have 3 of something, even if it's not exactly the same. So I'm finally adding my little taco die cut. I did just add it so it was slightly off the photo, which kind of works with the photo itself, because that is a very super cropped in photo of Shane gobbling down a taco. And so just pushing that die cut off to the side there makes it look a little bit cropped in as well. Now, like I said, I did pull out this Felicity alpha as well as the Bailey one, and I chose this specifically because it's the closest alpha stamp that I've got to the Bailey one. So it's not exactly the same, but it is a really narrow line. It's got that same sans serif shape to it. It works nicely together. The Bailey Alpha would have been a little bit too small, I think, on this very plain card, and I can manage to get a week and a number, and this set has numbers in it, which is another one. It's one of my favorites. So I'm just stamping week 30 across there. This is one of those sort of ledger paper looking cards, which I find so helpful for stamping titles like this because I've actually got the lines already on there. I just have to be a little bit careful with adding it. So I've stamped that at the top because this card has a tiny little quote at the bottom, which I don't generally use for title cards, but this one sort of worked nicely. I loved it, so I'm keeping the quote on there. I added one of the labels from the die cut pack. Again, a little bit of teal in there. It's a different teal to some of the other stickers that I've used, but it's similar enough that it gives me that little bit of repetition. I'm date stamping on the label, and then I'm kind of stepping back and thinking it needs something else, and what it needs is it needs a little bit of pink. So I went away and I found my dreaded Nouveau drops. Now, I have tested these off camera before I splatter them across my layout to make sure that it's, going to work nicely for me. This one is kind of a pink glitter, but it's the perfect pink in there. So I'm just going to sprinkle these not just on my title card because, again, I want a little bit of repetition. So I'm going to add some on one of my journaling cards. And I decided to add a little bit onto my sort of smaller taco card as well, just to give me that three, that sort of, repetition of three. Also to add a little bit more pink onto the page. And I'm kind of glad I went and did it. It was sort of the perfect finishing touch. I had intended to add as much pink as I could, and I didn't really get a whole lot in there. So just adding this little bit made me that much happier. And now let's take bets on whether I remember that this is sitting on my desk drying, or whether I stick something on top of it and smush these Nouveau drops all over the place. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to leave a couple of videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye.